All right, so thanks for joining me today on my channel. This is Discovering My World, and this series right now is going to be about the TEFL and my experience with it. And I've just completed the ITA TEFL course, and I have to do my practicum, which is totally separate from the course. But here's why I would recommend the course. So I've got my own kind of viewpoints on it, but there's some reasons. In addition to that, I'm going to read off to you because I've looked up some information, and that information kind of led me to kind of see that there's a little bit of a difference between certain courses. Now, does that mean this is the right course for you? Well, maybe not, but I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why, and give you a lot of information as to why you should maybe look up this information if you're not sure. Or if you're not sure what this course has in it, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully we'll cover all those bases. So go ahead, click subscribe and like, follow along on my channel because I'm going to use my TFL to get myself to Spain to teach English. That's my goal. I may end up somewhere else, so follow along and see how that goes. Okay, so the first thing, just off the top of it, I did enjoy the course in the sense that it was a fairly simple, straightforward course. And I don't mean that it in a bad way. I mean that it was easy to follow, easy to understand. I'm not always the best with online stuff, but I found that I was able to maneuver it. I had time to get through it. I took the halftime course, which was an 11-week course, as opposed to trying to do it in 4 weeks. That way I could do it evenings, weekends, and I didn't have to feel rushed or whatever. Plus, with my timeline, I wasn't in a hurry to get anywhere. So there's also a 4-week course, the way I understand it. And you can also do the course overseas in certain locations. So it does have that benefit. I really, really, really wanted to do the one where I could go to Spain, take the course, and then just start teaching English there. Unfortunately, it just wasn't right for me. So I didn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to get the course done. I wanted to get some experience before I went over. And so I chose the online course, 11 weeks. Okay, so besides that, I looked up some information as to why this course, so it's ITA, the International TEFL Academy, and I'll have a link down below so you can use that. And if you use a link, I do get an affiliate payment per se, but you also get a free book. So something for both of us. I did actually take this full course. I didn't just go on and sign up and then do a week and quit or whatever like some of the people are doing. I'm not sure. There's some people saying they're covering all the courses. That's a lot of money. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm not covering all the courses. I'm only telling you about the one I took. It's for personal reasons. This will support my channel, but blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to do it just for the cashola. Anyways, so if you're not sure if you should be taking this course, it allows you to teach online. So there's lots of different ways to teach online. You could also do it. There's some volunteer places out there too. Like I came across one in Turkey that has volunteer for underprivileged kids to help them be able to learn English, which is really cool. Also refugees from the Ukraine who have gone other places, and English is useful for them to know where they are. So that is, again, another nice aspect of it, is you can use this to help people. So if you got lots of cash and you want to connect with people, it's really, really cool. You get to meet people with other cultures. So that is very cool. But as far as work goes, you can make a career out of it. So maybe not a great career, depending on where you want to go, but certain places like in the Middle East, UAE and Saudi Arabia pay more. There can be some culture shock for Westerners, so you definitely want to be aware of that, but they do pay more. So it does, I guess, kind of even out where you have to make some sacrifices in what you're used to in life, but they pay you well, and everything I've heard about going to those places has been really good. I've never actually heard anybody say anything bad. Well, you know what I mean? Like the culture shock wasn't a bad thing. It was more of an interesting thing. And so that's good. And then of course there's Asia. China's like, obviously you got a lot of people and they want to learn English. Japan has a little bit more money, but then you go to places where, if you're in my case, where I like to have a little slower pace of life, Spain, Portugal, definitely a slower pace of life, but lifestyle wise, really good. Money not as good. So there you go. So career or transitioning out of a career, semi-retirement, wanting to travel more. Those are all kind of things that you can look at with your TEFL. Now, that also leads into travel and lifestyle. So, of course, where I just said Spain would be more of a lifestyle one, being on the Mediterranean in Barcelona would definitely lead you to be able to travel more. Barcelona being kind of the, I guess, more northerly side of Spain, where you might be able to catch a train into southern France and fly quickly across the Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, Egypt, Morocco. Lots of places nearby. Turkey's, again, not too far away from there. So the Mediterranean has, access to a lot of different countries, different cultures. So travel and lifestyle freedom is definitely a good reason to have your TEFL. Financial motivators. You can make money doing this. Not only going to other places to work, but you can start your own business, teach online. You can sign up for, I'm signed up for Preply right now, but that's a side note. You can go on there and teach for some cashola. That's all fine and good. So you can definitely do it as a job, part-time job, transition job. So credibility of ITA International, it's recognized in quite a few places around the world. When I did my search, there was a lot of different places around the world that looked for a TEFL course that had the credentials that ITA has, like the 120 hours, right? So that's big. Having a practicum attached to it, really, really big component. And they have a BBB A+ rating. BBB A+ rating. That almost seems contradictory, but the BBB, I think, is the Better Business Bureau, which is, I believe, because this is an American company, BBB rating. So it has to do with being the Better Business Bureau A+ rating. Okay. So they are considered a trusted business, and they're recognized around the world, and that is a good thing. And they teach that the main course as at a top level. So check into it. You want to know what your stats are, and I'll probably get into it in another video. Like I said, the 120 hours is a big one, and having the practicum is a big one. So those are like key components that you want to know about. If you have a particular place you want to go to, like I've looked up all the information that I need to know about moving to Spain, not only with the TEFL, but in my case, I need to have a degree. Doesn't matter what kind of degree. Originally, when I first looked at this, I thought I had to have an education degree. And so this all started for me 5 years ago. That whole story is a long story that really blows everything out of the water. So I'm not even going to get into it because it's just a big, messy story. So I kind of went off on a path that I didn't need to go on. So the main point here is know what you need if you have a certain place you want to go. Now, if you want to travel around the world, like maybe pick 4 or 5 places you like to go to and see what information is the same and what is conflicting, and get yourself to the highest level you need to go to all the places you want to go to. Like maybe if you're younger than me, you might think I'm going to travel to 20 different countries. Whereas in my age, I'm like, if I get to 2 or 3 to teach, that's probably, at a point in my, again, age-wise, where I'm going to reevaluate and see if this is still the lifestyle for me. There is some support with the ITA, and I haven't really got into this part a lot yet. So they do help with job assistance for placement, job placement assistance, and that is something that I haven't really touched on yet because I still have to finish my practicum. I'm just finishing the classroom stuff, so that was definitely high on my list. And they have a presence in Spain, which is where I want to go. So that is definitely a positive. And of course, like I said, they're worldwide. So they end up having people all around the world. So they have a worldwide alumni, which I thought was really cool, because hopefully at some point you run into somebody and you can kind of share notes, compare notes, see what's going on with them. You can tell them what's going on with you. They could tell you if you're making any mistakes. You can tell them if they're making mistakes or whatever, hopefully helping each other out. So you kind of have that buddy system. I think that's really good, and especially for me because I'm not overly sociable and sometimes. So sometimes just having that connection to somebody draws it in a little bit closer, and that's really good. Um, so they will also help you with your resume. Now, I've got such an outdated resume that I don't even look at it anymore. I just send it in, and I tried to make it so generic for my last few job applications, just so I wouldn't have to do the work because I was applying to jobs I didn't want to do. That sounds terrible, but that is really what it came down to. So to have a job, to have a resume for the jobs that I do want to have, and they know the business, they're gonna be able to help you with that. So I thought that was really cool. And I haven't dove into that yet because I'm not actually job searching specifically yet. More random and kind of just hypothetically. Um, what else here? Oh, practical. Let's go. So, oh yeah, the flexible, I don't know if I touched on this, flexible learning options. So you can do online and in person. Like I said, they do have the one in Spain. That is really cool. Plus the courses that I took have these like little extra courses. So for instance, I took the Teach English Online course, and I can also now go ahead and get Teach Business English, if I could speak English, teach business English, and also I can teach for tests, like for people going to universities and they have to have certain skill levels to pass the test. I can take a course on specifically that, and it's not as much money, it's less money. So they have little things like that, which I thought, for me, I'm going to want to do at some point. They do give you discounts if you sign up for all of them at once or multiple ones, and they don't necessarily have to all be taken at the same time. There might be some overlap, but that's for you to check with your scheduling, not for me to tell you what to do. Okay. Oh yeah, just the alumni thing. There's 40,000 graduates, so that's a lot of people. The experienced instructor. Now I thought the instructor was really good, even though I didn't really have to contact her a lot. I thought the course was really organized. She got things graded relatively quickly. And for me, it's all about kind of checking the boxes. When I take a course now, like years ago, I used to write notes and just be frantically trying to, figure everything out, everything that came out of the professor's mouth. I wanted to understand it. Now I was just like, okay, what's the assignment? What do I get done? Bang. And I want to retain a certain amount. So when I go out and start doing what I need to do, I have a base. But to me, that's really where you start learning, right? So I want to have a base in the learning, and I feel like this course really did it. And the instructor, she was really good because it was set up really well for that. And then it has a 120-hour certificate, so that's huge. And of course, they're well known around the world, so employers know who ITAs and know what they're getting from graduates, right? So I should have also mentioned my trainer. She was finishing teaching somewhere, and she was going somewhere else the first week to first or second week. She went somewhere else to teach, started teaching somewhere else, or doing some course in the summer. And so like she's actually still immersed in the travel teaching English experience. So I mean, it was kind of neat that she was sharing some of that experience with us as well. I guess like they specifically point out here that like Spain, Japan, Thailand, Korea, South America, where English is like highly needed, is just on the list that I have here. And that doesn't mean that other places aren't in need. Like Eastern Europe, for example, there's a need. Might not pay as well, but then you also have Saudi Arabia and UAE, which are maybe a little bit more of a culture difference than North Americans. So that might be a little bit of a, something that you have to mentally prepare for when you're going, but it does pay well. So there's definitely options there as well. And it doesn't mention China here because, of course, there's so much going on politically right now that sometimes you can certain places might not be high end for certainty as to what's going to go on, whereas other places, it's going to probably feel more like home. Not exactly, but the chances of something bad happening are far less. Okay, what else did I want to go over here? So what the return on investment here is kind of a big thing. So a lot of people are like, I'm putting out X amount of dollars, what am I getting back out of it? So I don't look at the course that way personally. Like I want to have the course, but essentially what effort I put into learning in the course is what I'm going to get out of it, is how I look at it. The course has to get me a certificate, has to get me the ability to apply for a job and have a chance for a job, right? So if I apply and they say your credentials aren't good enough, then the course is not valuable enough. Whereas ITA's course is well recognized, and that's one of the things that I definitely was drawn to when I went to this one. So it's not so much about the teacher or the actual course itself. What I do is I try and immerse myself into what I need to know and get it done, and then take out any extra I can for my teaching purposes, like how to make a lesson plan, how to research information that I need to do a lesson plan, how to work with students, and how to set up that initial meeting with students, and how I can progress with a student, right? So those are all extra things over and above like completing the course. So dollar wise, I think this course gives me far more options than anything else. It also did give me a lot of resource information, which is definitely, I think, one of the hugest things. So depending on how you view the value of a course, I think that's going to do it. If you want the course to teach you everything and you want to have total insight of like some kind of genius guru at the end of it, I'm not really sure where you're coming from or what your expectations are. That is not how I look at the course. So I feel like this course gives me so many options, gave me a lot to get started with, and what I put into it, I got out of it, and that was 100% what I was trying to do. Okay. So ITA is consistently ranked one of the best TEFL programs in the world. And so when I was doing my research, it was either one or two on the list all the time. And of course, that depended on, sometimes when it was number two, certain aspects were brought up. So, but really, when you're always 1 and 2, you're averaging out at number 1, really, is in my mind. So they've been featured in a lot of American magazines like Forbes, New York Times, blah, blah, blah. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I've already mentioned that. And that's it. So I got a course now that I just need to finish my practicum. So I'm going to practice teaching. I've got the 120-hour work that is required from the top end places. I do need to have a university degree, doesn't matter what kind of degree, to go along with it for a lot of places I'm going to. Some places you need a teaching degree. I don't have a teaching degree from a university. Again, that's a different ball of wax, but there's only some places that you need that. The TEFL on its own can work in some locations without a degree. Of course, there's more and more people teaching English, and it's becoming more and more a really kind of business in my mind. Whereas I know people who've gone overseas and taught English, had a high school diploma, no degree, no certificate, nothing extra. And this is like, of course, 25 years ago. And it was more of a, hey, we're going to have conversation. So they just have straight conversation. And they wanted, I guess, the people experiencing it to understand what it actually sounded like, right? What does English sound like? But I think people have far more ability to look that up on their own now, so they don't just need to hear somebody. They can get movies online. They can do voice coaches online. They can do all kinds of things online that 25 years ago just wasn't happening. So it has changed quite a bit in that sense. Know what you need to have. Definitely, if you need to have a course, a TEFL course, I'd say this course is, it was quite good. I was happy with it for sure, and very satisfied with how it was set up, how it was structured, what I got out of it, what became available with resources. And yeah, I just got it. All right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and click subscribe and like so you can follow along and see how I do on getting to Spain. I got about a year to get there for the start of the school season. I'm also setting up my online business and, of course, completing my practicum. Definitely click the link below. You get a free text if you use my link. I, of course, get an affiliate reward for it, but you may as well get something as well. All right, thanks for joining me. We'll see you for the next video. Have a good day.